Hi everybody, welcome back to my third act, my new channel about moving to Florida. Now the move is going to happen at the end of May, and so I have been packing up my house and making lists of things that I need to do to get my home ready to sell. There's always a lot of things to consider, and I wanted to share that with you if you're thinking of moving or you now have a move date and you're not sure where to start. I'd like to offer you 5 things that I have done that have helped me orchestrate this move and put it together for me. We decided we wanted to buy a home in Margaritaville in October. I don't remember the day. The builder told us the move day would be, like I said, the end of May. So I'm just aiming for the end of May. That means that I have to get a house. My house is a townhouse, about 1,836 square feet, full of stuff. And an attic too, and stuff in the garage too. So I have been working on that, getting the house ready to sell, and now it is February 20th. Here's the 5 steps. Before they even begin, I want you to assess your timeline, because you're going to be writing things out and deciding when you want to get things done by what date, because we're going to have dates of completion of when to get things done. When you have a completion date, it's really a time for celebration, because you can know that you got something accomplished in your move, because there's so many things to do. It can be so overwhelming that if you do not have dates of completion, you can become discouraged, and that just slows you down. And you want to maintain your energy levels, and you want to be able to get everything done that you need to get done. So look at how much time you've got. So I had October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. You're thinking, oh wow, you've got 7 months. That's awesome. But I want to sell my house and use the proceeds from this house for the down payment on the house in Florida. Days on market right now in my area can be 3 months. That suddenly lowers my timeline to 4 months if I want to have my house listed and have 3 months on market. And even once you sell, then you need to allow about a month for escrow before you close. So we'll address that in just a minute. I don't have 7 months. It always sounds like you have more time than you do. I don't have a physical calendar in front of me, but I really do recommend getting a big physical calendar for this and not just using digital, because there's something about writing this on paper and seeing your completion dates on paper that helps keep you on track. And you know by a certain date, you're going to have a photographer in your house, pictures will be done, everything's ready to go, and you're going to go online with your home listed unless you already have someone to buy your home. Hooray for you, that's great. So that's the first thing to do, is to have a calendar ready and truly know what your timeline is. So I would say, this is what I did first. Here's what I would suggest. I went through my house, my garage, and my attic. And I looked and really assessed everything I had, because I wasn't even really sure what all stuff I had. I looked in closets, tops of closets, back of closets. I looked in drawers. I looked in cabinets, looked throughout my attic. Then I talked to my kids and decided with them which things that they wanted. Hint, hint, it ain't much. They don't want your stuff. But I had a lot of photograph albums, take up a big amount of space. They were interested in those. That was great, because then they can digitize them if they like. That saves me a lot of time and effort and cost on my part, because I do not have as much storage where I'm moving. And that's another thing. When you are assessing your time frame and looking at everything that you've got in your house that you need to get rid of or keep, you need to know how much space you've got where you're going. Do you have as much closet space? Do you have as many bedrooms? Do you have as much square footage? Do you have especially the same amount of storage? Do you have as much garage space? Do you have an attic where you're going, or perhaps a basement? All of those things will help you decide what to do in your current house when you know where it is that you're going. Because I'm moving to a warmer climate, I'm getting rid of a lot of cold climate clothes, for example. I've already started on that. but I also I'm moving to a little bit larger home, but I have less storage. And also, I am going to be sharing that home with Dawn. I don't share my home with anybody right now. I think Dawn has a half of a drawer in my chest of drawers. And now I have to share. So I'm really moving down in square footage. So I assessed, and hopefully you've got at least 6 months to do this because you really need 6 months. So I wrote down as I was going through the house, I wrote down everything that I knew immediately that I wanted to get rid of and not take. So that is handled, and then I can look at later, especially big pieces of furniture, how I'm going to get rid of them and where I'm going to go, because this is just an initial assessment. I also then went through everything a second time and thought about what I wanted to definitely keep. And I'm just writing this down as I go through the house. I haven't really done anything yet. I'm just writing down. That was a basic start. And I looked at big things like furniture and small things, because if I have a ratty piece of furniture, even if I love it, if it's going to cost me more to move that piece of furniture than to buy it new where I am moving, and if that furniture doesn't have any special sentimental value or reason for me to keep it, get rid of it. Don't be hanging on to things that you're just going to have to put in a storage unit when you move. When my mother was downsizing, my mother is still with us and will kick in and having a good time. My mom had to get a huge storage unit where she moved because she just couldn't get rid of so many things, like her three Amish fireplaces. That was just the beginning. And she paid for a storage unit for several years before she started getting rid of stuff. So I went through my house and I made notes. And then I went through my house again with a new pair of eyes, and I looked at every little nuance that I thought needed small nuances, not huge ones, that needed updating, repairs, or fixing up. Because I'm a realtor, I have a very good idea of what the market value is of my home and what my days on market is going to be. If I knew that I had longer days on market or a much higher value for my home, I might decide to do a full renovation if I knew that I had a higher value with a renovation. I don't think I would get that right now, but there's certain things that I needed to do. My house is 50 years old. So I went through my house with a good buyer eye, and I looked at all the doors and walls that were scruffed up and needed to be painted. I have a lot of old baseboards that needed to be redone and repainted. I changed out almost every single piece of hardware, not in the sunroom here, but in all of the rest of the house. All of the doors have new hinges, new knobs, all new hardware on them. So that really helped the look of the house. I found, I got new countertops for my 2 bathrooms. I have 3 bathrooms. So I found some granite remnants at a granite dealer that I just love, who's local. And he gave me a great price on remnants to put in my bathrooms. And then I put new cabinet doors on my cabinets, new knobs on those cabinets, and I bought some new lighting fixtures to put in my bathroom, and a couple of new fans. I got all of those lighting fixtures at Lowe's. And I think that my handyman, because once I had assessed everything that needed to be done, painting, etc., I hired a handyman who works a lot in my community. He's awesome. He's so thorough, and he is so professional. And he did everything for me on my list. For example, even things like I had a gutter full of leaves. I had one gutter that had a big hole in it on the downspout. He replaced all of that. He took care of it. I just made up the list of every little nuance or minor repair or updating that needed to be done, and he handled it. If I had a cockeyed drawer, he fixed that. So he took care of all of that. Now, let me see what else that I did. I changed out the little electrical outlet plates if they needed changing. I made sure that there was a neutral paint throughout the main rooms. This small sunroom obviously is not a neutral color, but I have 9 windows in here and they're all that kind of shade. So it's basically a red and white room, and I have a white ceiling. It's taller and smooth because I had my ceiling scraped when the popcorn ceiling scraped off when I moved in almost 9 years ago. After I had done all of the minor things, I took a really good look at my front and my back doors, and I had them painted as well because they needed a fresh coat. But I also have 2 screen doors, one on my front, one on my back door, and they were bad. So I had those replaced, got both of them at Lowe's, hired a handyman from Lowe's to put it in because my handyman didn't want to handle that. Looked great. Several years ago, I had redone my house in hardy plank, or hardy board. So I really didn't have any rotten wood or exterior painting that needed to be done on my house. But you want to check that out when you're going around your house. You want to look at the exterior as well as the interior. I hired a landscape gentleman to come and clean up all my yard in about 2 weeks. I have front and back patios. I don't have any grass, but I've got a lot of patio area that needs to be cleaned up that still has some leaves and whatnot in it. All of that's going to be cleaned up in about 2 weeks. And that was someone different who did that, because you want to be sure and look at your landscaping. That's the first thing people see coming up to your house. Actually, they see your mailbox, so you want your mailbox to look good too. Let's see. Another thing that I need to do that I haven't done yet, because I need to consult with my daughter on this. She's the expert in lighting. I'm going to go throughout my house and put really good light bulbs in all of my outlets. Really good lighting makes a huge difference when you sell your house and how your house looks. So those are the first things that I would do. The second thing I think you should do, if not switch this with the first thing, is unless you want to sell your home on your own, I think you should talk to a realtor. And probably if you want to list your house, which of course I recommend because I'm a realtor, but you can certainly sell your house on your own if you want to. If you are busy working full time and you're doing all these things, getting your house ready, a realtor who is professional and really good will be a lifesaver to you and more than worth every penny of the cost. So a realtor, you want to ask them several things. Of course, the market price, because the market price is going to dictate how many of these minor repairs and upgrades that you want to make. So basic things you need to have done. One thing I forgot that's really part of number 1 is I brought over a really wonderful HVAC guy gentleman with his own company, and he made sure that my air conditioner unit and my heating unit were tip-top shape and working fine, and gave me a good bill of health. So I have that to show to any buyer, and you want to make sure that you do that too. Okay. So when you're talking to your realtor, make sure you understand market value, because that will determine if your realtor can show you comparable properties that sold for X number of dollars more that had a new kitchen, for example, or a new primary bathroom. You'll be able to determine if you have the time and if you want to expend the money to reach that market price. Days on market is going to determine when you want to put your house on market. And then this realtor will be able to have a professional photographer. I don't care what your house looks like. You want to have professional photographs online, and plenty of them. If you're in a community like I am, I have professional photographs of the pool, the clubhouse, the neighborhood, the shrubbery, because that's part of what people buy when they move into a townhouse community. These are pictures you want if you're a detached unit of your backyard, your front yard, your garage, any storage areas. People love looking at those, and storage is just so big. They love knowing what that is. And your realtor can help you if you don't have vendors for the items we talked about in number 1, but you've got a list, your vendor can help you. Your realtor can help you with vendors. He or she, your realtor, should have a list of vendors that can help you tackle that list of things to do. Your realtor also should be able to help you stage your home professionally. And if it's vacant and of a particular price point, it may behoove you to spend the money to have your home staged with furniture that's run. And I did that last year, and it made a huge difference in the professional photographs and the way the home looked, because it was a little bit of an unusual floor plan, and my stager did a great job. Oh, I had several offers the first day. Now, something to find out from your realtor is what your net proceeds on the house are going to be. How much are you going to get once you pay the real estate fees, pay your attorney fees, and pay off any mortgages or liens against the house, and any other fees like warranties that you might buy to come with the house, title searches, taxes, etc., and so forth. How much money will you have left, and when would you get it? If you need a certain amount of money from the sale of this home to be able to close the next home, but you don't think you have enough days on market to sell that home before you close on the next home, then you need to really think about those finances and talk to a banker or a bank or a financial services company that can give you the costs for a home equity line of credit or for a bridge loan on your current home that will help you pay for the down payment on your next home. Don't wait until a couple of weeks before closing on your house, or a month before closing on your house, when you're closing on two weeks on your other home, and you've got to get a bridge loan to pay for your down payment on your next home. There's a lot of paperwork, for example, now for a line of credit. I own my home, so I have in place, in case I need it and I don't sell this home soon enough, I searched a lot of different resources and found a financial institution that will do a home equity line of credit for me. They knew exactly what I was using it for. I was very transparent with them, and this one institution had absolutely no penalty fee for paying off that line of credit early. Be sure you ask that. What is the fee if I pay this line of credit off before it's due, say, in 10 years? So those are the things that you learn when you learn days on market and timing from your realtor versus what monies you need for the next home. The third thing was actually getting the funds from this home, and if so, how are you going to do it? So that was actually number 3. I didn't say that. You may opt like several of my clients who've moved out of town recently have done, and they're renting where they're moving. They're putting most of their stuff in storage, and they're renting where they're moving so they can find out which part of the town that they're moving to or the area they're moving to, which neighborhood they want to really live in. So they're going to rent for a year or two. You can start packing up boxes really early and just send boxes and boxes to Goodwill or charity or Habitat for Humanity. Well, they have a resale store here. Depends on what items you're getting rid of. But here's what I did. Every time I've moved, I've rented a storage facility so I can get rid of everything that makes the house look like clutter. The stuff that we live with on a daily basis. But this time, instead of renting a unit, my daughter wanted her bedroom set from when she was little. And so she and her husband and his friend came and moved that bedroom suite out of my spare bedroom. I went in, I cleaned everything on the carpet up in the spare bedroom. There's like a chair in there left. And I have put all of my moving boxes into that bedroom so I don't have to rent a storage. I do have quite a few boxes in the garage as well. Before I had the furniture moved, before it was moved, I had my professional photographer come over and photograph that room with the bedroom suite in it. So when my house goes online, I have that photograph to put on there, and I'm not putting on a photograph of a room with boxes in it, but that's my storage. And I think people are going to walk into the room, see tons of boxes, and still see that there's plenty of room in there, and they'll be able to judge. I'm not putting boxes in front of the windows, and I'm not putting in front of the closet door, so they'll be able to look at the windows. I did buy new windows for my home several years ago. They'll be able to see all of that. Now, number 4, the 4-box method that you can use to move. Box number 1, or boxes number 1, are the things that you want to keep. These are the things that you can store in your garage or a storage room or some area of your home. I do suggest, if you can, bringing down as much as possible from the attic and get rid of that, because we usually have things, we all have things in our attic that we don't need and we don't want. We just haven't taken the time to get rid of them. But I would suggest that, or possibly if you have things stored in a basement. We don't have very many basements where I live. These are things of sentimental value, the clothes that you're going to want, and the major furniture and appliances. Then there's the things that you want to sell. You can sell on Marketplace, on in an estate sale, have an estate sale, depending on the size of your home, a garage sale. We can't have garage sales in my neighborhood, but I listed some things on Marketplace. I had friends who wanted to buy other things and took care of that. Then there's going to be boxes of things that you want to donate. And then you have to be not too judicious in just tossing the things that you don't need. My mother could not get rid of certain things because she would look at it and she'd say, because I was with her for a while of this, not very long, and she'd say, "Oh, I paid so much money for this sweater. This sweater cost me so much money at a time when I just didn't have it, but I knew I had to have the sweater." My mother was moving from a colder climate to a much warmer climate too. She really didn't need to keep her sweaters, but she remembered, and when she remembered what she paid for those sweaters, a flood of emotions ran over her, and probably her brain dumped a ton of cortisol into her brain that said, "Don't get rid of it. You'll have to have it. You'll need it someday. You'll need to use it someday." So just take my word for it. Get rid of what you can get rid of, especially things that don't have any kind of sentimental value, things your kids don't want. Now, number 5, the last thing is, before your photographer comes over, you want to scrub your house with a fine-tooth comb and clean everything that you normally wouldn't clean, like inside and around your washer and your dryer and your refrigerator, and make sure that inside your stove and your refrigerator is clean. Make sure the inside and the outside of your windows are clean. Windows are huge in photography. Make sure your yard is all cleaned up. Hire the carpet cleaner and bring the carpet cleaner over to clean up everything. Make sure it's decluttered. All of the walls around the light switches are nice and clean. That's really going to help make beautiful pictures and help you sell your home. So as you're doing all of these things, you have now marked on your calendar go back to your calendar and mark on your calendar by what date you want to get all of this done, so you know it's not going to be the last 2 weeks before you put your house on market and you'll be absolutely overwhelmed. Go back with your calendar once you've made all these lists and you know what you need to do. Like I said, don't wait till the last minute. On anything, time it out, look at your calendar, and then when you feel overwhelmed, look again at your calendar and you can think, wow, I have accomplished a lot. Then you can sit back and breathe. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next one. Make it a winning day.